think that every single INFJ is meant to be a writer?
Well, I think it's important to realize there are a lot of different kinds of writers, and there's a lot of different kinds of writing. And we forget that a lot of the time. Going into, say, like journalism is totally different than writing horror novels like Stephen King, which is totally different than writing self-published self-help books like I do, which is totally different than writing, a newspaper like it could go on and on and on. But some areas of writing, like journalism, it's very rational. It's very competitive. There's going to be a lot of critique. There's going to be a lot of collaboration. You're going to get constant feedback. Same thing if you're like, I want to write screenplays in Hollywood. That's a whole different reality. That reality is it's very competitive. A lot of people are going to be giving you critique. You might not be interested in that kind of reality as a writer. You might be more interested in, I want to write my fantasy novel and then I want to put it on Amazon and I don't really care if anyone likes it. I don't care if it's a bestseller. It's for me. It brings me joy. I want to build this world and then offer it out. And if people like it, they like it. If one person reads it and it touches them, great. So it's all about what is meaningful to you and what you're really going for, what's important to you. If you're like, it's really important to me to win the Pulitzer Prize, it just is. Like that, I'm convinced that's going to make me happy. I won't rest. Then go for it. Like go into journalism. If you're like, I really don't care about awards. I really don't care if I'm a bestseller. Write for you. If you publish it, cool. If you don't publish it, no big deal. It might just be that journaling is your thing. I know a lot of INFJs who are like, I don't ever want to write anything with structure or story. I just love to journal every day. That's my outlet. I do encourage INFJs to try writing in different forms and see what pulls you. Don't force yourself to do it. I also know INFJs who really get perfectionistic about journaling. Like they'll get a hold of the artist's way and they're like, I have to do it every morning. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. It's boot camp, And I'm like, it's not. It's a journaling, But just try different things and see what pulls you and see what nourishes you. That's what writing is about. I think so much of the time we use it to beat ourselves up.
Yeah. Yes. It's difficult to not get stuck in the perfectionism. Because even just for me with my journal, I wanted to have one of those bullet journals that you see, that are super fancy and look totally awesome. And I tried really hard and it just didn't work. And I even bought like all the expensive supplies and everything. And what I end up writing in is one of these that I sort of fancied up, but it's like one of those things that you get for school that's like $1 at Walmart. And the only reason that I'm okay with writing it is because it was $1. It's like, it's not fancy or expensive. So if I mess it up, it's like, I messed it up. It's not that big of a deal. So how do you get past the whole perfectionism thing, especially in your writing? Because that's like a really big thing. Especially it was for me when I'm like, okay, I'm not a writer. I can't spell. I don't know anything about sentence structure. It's difficult.
It is. I mean, what I work on with my clients, perfectionism, it's ultimately about control. And INFJs are very controlling people. And we don't often think of ourselves as controlling because we are also people pleasers. So it's this weird mix of like, we're always trying to keep the peace. We're always trying to keep the harmony. I don't care what restaurant we go to for lunch, wherever you want to go. We're very fluid like that. But at the same time, we almost always have high anxiety because we're always dealing with big energetic onslaughts from the environment and other people. We normally don't have a whole lot of people we can confide in. We tend to feel very isolated and like weirdos. So we kind of have a lone wolf thing going on a lot of the time. A lot of us are unfulfilled creatives. So we have this like toxic brew cocktail of anxiety going on, and that breeds control. And on top of that, we forecast the future. That is our happy place. When we think about how is everything going to play out? Let me look at the patterns I see, follow them to the end. How does the future unfold? We love that. So we're always trying to anticipate the future and nail it down. Well, if I just do it in this way, and I just follow this program, and that sort of self-soothes that anxiety. But with writing, you know, that's fine. If you are like, okay, I'm going to journal every single day for a year and I'm going to do it at 5 a.m. every morning, you could actually probably do that. You might be tired, but you could do that. If you're trying to write a novel or you're trying to write your memoir, you're trying to write a big, deep work that means a lot to you, that you have a lot of heart investment in, that your soul is going to surface as this work is being done, you're going to go into territory where you don't have very much control. And that's where INFJs freak out. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then they try to clamp down even harder on the control mechanisms. Well, I'll just get even more rigid about my writing schedule. I'll just get even more stifling about how many words I need to write every day. I'll just plan the book out to every detail. And then we get frozen, and then we're completely crippled and we can't move forward at all. So to break through that, we've got to let go of our control, you know, and it doesn't always have to be in writing. It can be in all areas of your life, you know, eating something new, going somewhere new, booking a vacation somewhere you've never been before, starting a relationship with someone that you're maybe a little unsure about, you know, initiating something. Those types of new experiences where we are out of control and we cannot entirely predict the outcome, it's sort of like we engage our extroverted sensing. And that helps, you know, our extroverted sensing, we're at like the level of a 3 or 4-year-old with that. So even finger painting can help. Getting messy, you know, getting unplanned, unpredictable, that can really help perfectionism loosen the hooks that it has into us.